Hey Salivers, this is SuperZombGBBQ, and today, that was a little bit over dramatic, I apologise, but hey, you know what, I'm going to roll with it. We are in the middle of Road to Glory, or Page to Glory. We are on Jeff Hardy, and we are working our way up to get this deliciously awesome English lass. She is going to be a very, very useful card for me, considering the last pull I just got off the board was a female, although I didn't really expect to have to be so specific, SuperCard. When I asked for a female pull, I don't mean give me a support with a female on it. That is very, very, very annoying. So yeah, always good. Other than that, randomly we had a throwback sale yesterday, which might lead me to believe that we're going to have some kind of crazy throwback or Hall of Fame. And you know, it got me thinking that we haven't had those packs yet. Usually, I mean, in the previous couple of years towards Christmas, which I believe it was the throwbacks in Season 2 and Season 3, that were effectively what the holiday fusions were. Now, unless they've changed everything about what they're doing and they've basically no longer doing the throwbacks and Hall of Fames, it would be expected that you're going to see some throwback or Hall of Fame cards very, very soon in WWE SuperCard, especially going by the rumours, if you haven't heard them, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But if I can ask you all, please, if you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button with a two sweets. Two sweet me with that like button, and make sure you're two sweeting, or maybe we could do a two sour. This is like something that randomly the Revival did. I think this is why they started the whole FTR thing. Subscribe button, the like button, and turn your notifications on to make sure you're told about every single video that comes out. Rumors are, and you may have heard of these before, that Goldberg is going to be one of the inductees for this year's Hall of Fame. There's also rumors that he is also going to be one of the very few people called up as a surprise entrant into this year's Royal Rumble, instead of having a WrestleMania appearance. I believe from watching his documentary, I think he doesn't want to have another WrestleMania moment, but for sure, if he has the opportunity to, I don't see why he wouldn't want to step in the ring for the Royal Rumble. But that could be, I believe, announced maybe on the 25th anniversary of Raw. We know that, as far as I'm aware, Stone Cold Steve Austin's turning up. Maybe we might see The Rock. We might even see that. That'd be pro Jeff Hardy for that guy, unless that's the Jeff Hardy he's just got. There's lots of different rumors going around. Goldberg one about being in the Hall of Fame is very, very strong and has been going on for a while. It's almost like we know it's going to happen. And if that happens, I have got a theory about what we're going to see with the new cards that are going to be coming into the game. So this is going to be looking at those potential throwback and Hall of Fame cards. Now, me personally, I would go for the plan that the Goldberg's going to get entered into the WWE Hall of Fame, and we'll end up having a Hall of Fame event, because I'm not sure if you guys remember, but back in Season 3, we got ourselves a throwback event towards the end of WrestleMania 33 tier. First of all, we started off with an all-women's ring domination, which was the first time that's ever been done. That was for the Mae Young Classic. Then what we got towards the end of the tier is different themes, just like the holiday events. We got different themed events, such as the Halloween event, and we also got ourselves a throwback event. But interestingly, we didn't get ourselves a Hall of Fame event, which leads me to believe that we will have a Hall of Fame event very, very soon, probably to kind of kickstart the end of this tier, which I know it's really early to talk about, and I've mentioned it a couple of times. You got to think about it. WrestleMania is going to come up on us really, really quickly. So it could be only a matter of a month and a half away, potentially, a new tier. So WrestleMania 34 could be potentially a new tier. Maybe it'd be something completely different. We don't know at this point. But with regards to the Hall of Fame and the throwback cards, we're going to have a look at some of the people who it very well could be. And we're going to start with the throwbacks, and we're going to go straight away to the Beast cards. And we're going to have a look at what cards who have been introduced potentially could be in the Beast throwbacks. And first of all, we're going to start off with Ken Shamrock. I mean, this Again, I have to give mass credit to Napoli fan for helping me out with this one, because these look awesome. We got Ken Shamrock first of all, who's, you know, he came in at WrestleMania 33. He's not had a card since. There's plenty of images in the archives. This guy is gonna have a throwback card at some point. I don't think he's been entered into the Hall of Fame either. I wouldn't say that's a bad shout actually for him to be entered into the Hall of Fame. Then we go down to the female of the throwbacks for Beast, which is Maurice. Now Maurice, again, another card that came in during the fusions, because she's, I don't know why she came in at that point. Maybe it's because of the WrestleMania 33 match she was involved in. Now you can use her as a superstar as well as a support card. I don't see any reason, especially given that she was involved in the Beast tier, to not involve her in the throwbacks as well. She was a very, very active diva stroke female wrestler, depending on what you want to call them back from then. Then we have Jinder Mahal. Now this one's an obvious one because Jinder Mahal didn't have any images from Season 1 and Season 2. This Jinder Mahal would allow us to get access to some of his older 3MB images, or maybe his original gimmick when he came into WWE originally. This next one, okay, I'm just gonna go put it out there. This should have been done a long time ago. Dude Love, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. We're gonna have more than just Mankind, so I'm gonna suggest that maybe Dude Love comes in to use more of the different images that WWE have got. They could just do another Mankind, but I can't see it, given the last one was so close to this one. We only had him as an Ultimate card only a year ago. And now we have Diesel, because Kevin Nash is a available card to use, but Diesel was actually used in Season 1, and this would allow us to look at maybe some of his older images, or reuse some of his older images, which I can imagine at some point we are going to see SuperCard do. We are going to see SuperCard use older images. It's gonna happen at some point. Moving on into Monster tier, and we got the Beast Brock Lesnar. Now this is something that's had to happen for a while, because every image of Brock Lesnar is current day. Now there may be like some kind of licensing thing against that, I don't know, but honestly I would go out there and say that this is something that needs to happen. Brock Lesnar needs to have a throwback card of his old image, his old you know, Here Comes the Pain Brock Lesnar. I remember when Taz used to do the introduction for him. Well, here comes the pain. If you ever watched the old school SmackDowns, that was one of the best parts of his entrance. So let's go and have a look at some more. First got Beth Phoenix. I mean, she just come back into WWE in the Hall of Fame class of last year, which meant that now she has access to the images and stuff, and SuperCard using those. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't be a throwback card, because there's plenty of images back from her Glamazon days. Now we go to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, again, big one, entered in SummerSlam 17. He's got probably God knows how many images. He was really big on WWE's radar a long, long time ago, and there's going to be images of him in 3MB or in other different types of images from his Broken Dreams original persona. Next one is Rhino, another one I'm confused that we haven't seen any of his ECW, given they've got the full rights to it. There's also Invasion Angle era, and this is one of those images that I think has to happen. Rhino has to happen, old school Rhino, because he's kind of watered down nowadays. The other one I'm looking at is Sheamus. Now I know this is kind of crazy, but just imagine, I mean, Sheamus has had his hair changed for a while now. Any of the older cards for Sheamus, if you've got like a very early Sheamus image, that would be kind of cool. And they've done it before with the likes of John Cena. They could even do it for Cesaro, like the original Cesaro, the original Big E. There's lots of them they could do. Now we're going to move on into Titan tier for these throwback cards. And it's going to happen at some point, so I'm just going to go out there and say Kurt Angle is going to happen. Kurt Angle starts off this list, and you know, he's got one of the, in my opinion, one of the best images he's ever had done. It's a little bit of an older Kurt Angle. It's not one of it when he started. I personally feel that he's got to have one of the images when he first started. Now that I mean maybe the one that's on the cover of 2K18, possibly the not the ECW angle, or the Extreme angle. I'm talking about the initial, like when he first came into WWE. Now you've got Triple H as well. Now Triple H has been a throwback card before, but I've just got an expectation that he is going to be in this tier because he wasn't a Titan card available. So I'm going out there and saying that. Nikki Bella, because we've had Brie Bella. Why haven't we had Nikki Bella yet? That's another card that I hope to see because I could use so many images on that one. Seth Rollins. Everyone remembers the old school Seth Rollins from NXT. If you don't, where have you been? He's got to get a card at some point because there's so many images of the old school Seth Rollins, the one that won the NXT Championship. And then I'm going out there because this card was not in Titan tier but was in Monster tier. Same as Kurt Angle, same as Triple H, Macho Man Randy Savage. There's got to be a reason why. Whether they're fusions, whether they are throwbacks or Hall of Fames, I don't know. But there's got to be some reason. As we go on into the page, Rosagora, I'm now going to go over to the Hall of Fame cards, which is what my original discussion was about Goldberg going into the Hall of Fame. So if we have a look now at the Beast Hall of Fame cards that could be there, I'm going for a bit of a different approach to these choices. And these ones are people, and this is one of the issues I think SuperCard might have, is eventually they're going to run out of people to use because the Hall of Fame is quite limited. So Hall of Fame, I'm going to go for Arn Anderson. Now, he has only had one card in WWE SuperCard. And that was back in the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Fame, sorry, the Throwbacks in Season 1 as an ultra rare card, which a guy of his, he needs a bigger card than that. So we're going to go for Arn Anderson as one of the Hall of Fame cards. Then I'm going to go for Coco Beware. Again, another card that's entered the Hall of Fame, should have a decent card, but is stuck back in Season 1 and the early parts of Season 2. But also because I want to use Frankie the Bird. I mean, that parrot is a legend in SuperCard and in real life as well. And also you got Cowboy Bob Orton, again, a card that hasn't seen the light of day for some time. You've got the Iron Sheik, and then you've got one more. I mean, obviously the Iron Sheik's going to be in there. That's going to be some comedy, seeing people's comments on that. And this one, I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, and I'm surprised, given we got Mae Young in the game, that it's not happened yet. The Fabulous Moolah. She's got to be in SuperCard at some point. She held the Women's Championship longer than any other woman in history. She's one of the longest WWE, I think she's actually the longest WWE title holder ever, the Fabulous Moolah. So she needs to get a card like pretty soon. Moving on into the Monster tier, I'm going to go with the Big Boss Man. Again, he hasn't had a card for a long time. I don't know why, but I'm happy if he does get one. Also, I'd love him to have his old school gimmick. I want like the Attitude Era Nightstick Big Boss Man. I loved his theme back in the day. Greg the Hammer Valentine, one we haven't seen in SuperCard yet. Again, I don't know why he's in all WWE games, but yeah, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Bruno Sammartino, God, this guy has not been seen in a long time in WWE SuperCard. I mean, come on, seriously. Last tier is in, I think it was Rare tier in Season 2 or something. We need to get a Bruno Sammartino card in the game again. That guy is a legend. And this image proves it. It's old school. It shows you how dominant he was. He was a big, big dude. Going to Jacqueline next, another female card. Jacqueline, again, I think is underrepresented. Given that she was in the Hall of Fame last year, I think this would be a really good card to add on into the game. And then this is a bit of a SuperCard legend back from Season 1. Tito Santana. Who remembers that PCC he had with, what was it? I think it was Mr. Perfect, and everyone thought Mr. Perfect was going to win, and then everyone voted for Tito Santana. I think it was because of his arrow and what he propped in, and he was a really good card. So anyone who's got that card, you're gonna love this. Going on to Titan. Now this is where I think what we'll do is we may get ourselves like a special Hall of Fame Goldberg card, or a special Hall of Fame, whoever the big name is this year. If that happened as a prediction, that would be awesome. Like a special Hall of Fame event card that was all bells, all singing, dancing, everything. Flashes, fireworks. Moving on into the Titan tier, we're going to have a look at those in just a second. Just going to get these ball picks off the board. And I want to know what your suggestions are. If you've got any personal suggestions about what these Titan cards, or maybe are we going to see Hall of Fame and throwback cards? I think that it's definitely a big possibility in the next couple of weeks even. Now we've got the female event out of the way. I can't see it not being a thing. Let's move on into the Titan cards now. And this is where we talk about the big guns. These are the cards that people are going to be really shooting for, as well as the throwbacks. And I think the throwbacks personally are a bit more popular in the Hall of Fame this time around, because I'm going for some people who really, especially the fact that Jerry the King Lawler, I mean, especially the fact that he's in the game, he's got voice in the game. The fact he's not had a card in the game is a little bit surprising. So I'm going for him to make his SuperCard debut in the Hall of Fames. Then also we're going to have a look at Yokozuna, someone who's not been seen again since Season 2. This guy is a legend. If you haven't seen Yokozuna, you need to go check him out. He would legitimately kill most of the people in WWE nowadays with his god awesome strength and how big he was. Moving on down to Farouk. I'm going with Farouk and then Rikishi as well, because again these cards haven't appeared, and Rikishi's a legend. Farouk actually got inducted under Ron Simmons, so he might come out as Ron Simmons if they do eventually do it. But again, a guy who hasn't been seen as SuperCard for a very, very long time. Season 2 was the last time they appeared. Now going to go on to the female, and the female has to be none other than Mae Young. I mean, come on. She was in an event. There's plenty of little pictures out there that they can use of her. Personally, I'd prefer any pictures of her pre-Attitude Era. Like when it wasn't Vince's crazy idea to do this. Yeah, just I don't want any memories of that. But this image, it perfectly captures how great Mae Young was. So I personally think that that's an image they could use, and it's one of the biggest used images for Mae Young on the internet anyway. So the last one, however, needs no introduction. This again is another one of those. He was in Monster Tier, so should be in Titan Tier. In my opinion, is the favorite one to be, and that is Rowdy Roddy Piper. Rowdy Roddy Piper showing up in the Hall of Fame cards. It just has to happen. There's so many good images of that Rowdy Roddy Piper card. It's just going to have to happen at some point. So I'm hoping he shows up as a Titan card, as a very useful left arrow, because all these are going to be better than the standard Titan cards. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Whether you think these are going to be cards, you've got any other suggestions. I know a lot of people are going to go ahead and say The Rock. I just wanted to let everyone know, I didn't realize that The Rock hadn't been inducted. Stone Cold Steve Austin got inducted years ago, and The Rock still hasn't been inducted. Maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe he's just decided that he still wants to be seen as an active member of the roster. Maybe he sees the Hall of Fame as it saying his career is over. I don't know. If you like the choices, or you liked what you saw and you want to show some support to the channel, like this video, turn your notifications on, and subscribe to the channel to see more WWE SuperCard. We've got some Mayhem, special Mayhem videos going up as I've just finished Jeff Hardy. I'm now into the Season 4 bracket of Road to Glory. Going to get myself R-Truth, then going to get myself Roman Reigns, and then we're going to move on to both those beautiful titles. We've got a good brother, and we got a beautiful British lass in Paige. So that is it from me. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been SuperZombGBBQ, and one last thing, and that is to... Sorry!